Quite a number of very interesting things came out of the NASA rally in Machakos on Friday. That is Friday 19th. Probably the most obvious was Kalonzo Musyoka's position. Now, the very interesting thing that came out is that the Kalonzo Musyoka's own people, the Kamba nation, do not agree with the Kalonzo Musyoka's position. Now, I've said before in this channel that this is a new trend, in Kenyan politics, where people do not agree with their leader, and they're not shy, they're not afraid, to tell their leader in the face, no, we don't want to go in that direction. And I've also said it is a very, very dangerous development. Now, what is Kalonzo Musyoka's position? Kalonzo Musyoka's position is that there must be dialogue. Okay? Kalonzo Musyoka's position is that Jubilee must wake up before January 30th so that the negotiations. Kalonzo's position is that he will do everything in his power, and he asks every Kenyan to do everything in their power to ensure that there are negotiations. Kalonzo Musyoka says that it is better to do negotiations now rather than to do them later under circumstances and conditions that will be very different. Of course, what he meant, doing negotiations after chaos, violence, bloodletting, is a very different situation. And it is much better to do negotiations when peace is prevailing. No matter how delicate that peace is, it is best to negotiate during a time of peace. What was the response of the Kamba people to this very, this reasoning of Kalonzo? The answer was a resounding no. We do not want to negotiate with Jubilee. We want NASA to go ahead with the swearing in of Raila Odinga as the president. And from the body language of the other NASA leaders, their bodies were saying, you see, we told you. I wonder who they were referring to. Of course, they are referring to their colleague, Kalonzo Musyoka. So, contrary to what we're being told, the NASA High Command or the NASA principals are not in total agreement with the way forward. That is the truth. And I'll explain why. Kalonzo Musyoka sees the swearing in of Raila Odinga as something that is to be used to get Jubilee to the negotiation table. Okay? The vast majority of Nazarites are of the view that Raila Odinga must be sworn in before any negotiations can take place. Indeed, this is the same view of a large section of what I'd call the radicals within NASA. Now, you all know my position concerning negotiations. I believe negotiations are a must. The sooner, the better. Okay? However, I have to confess and I have to agree that there are compelling political reasons not to want any negotiations before the swearing in of Raila Odinga. You see, after Raila Odinga is sworn in, the position will be that we will have two presidents negotiating. Okay? When you negotiate immediately, what will happen is that the president of Kenya will be negotiating with the leader of the opposition. And of course, what will happen during Raila's swearing in, it will be very easy to compare and contrast, the swearing in of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the swearing in of Raila. And of course, it will be very clear that the swearing in of Raila will have much larger numbers, much more enthusiastic followers and voters, etc., etc. And so those negotiations will be in an environment where Raila Odinga will have an edge. That is really how these strategists are thinking. And that is that's a lead which has been followed by millions of Nazarites. Nazarites across the country and indeed across the globe do not want to hear anything else except Raila eating the Bible. Now, as I was corrected by a member of this channel, eating the Bible is also a direct translation from the Luo, or rather the Luo dialect. In Kiswahili, we also say kukula kiapo. which is virtually the same thing, to eat an oath. Yeah? It's not very difficult to figure out where this came from, because in most African traditions, taking an oath involves eating something. Okay? Yeah, that's really what it is. Now, of course, Kalonzo Musyoka has a democratic right, yeah, to have an opinion, yeah, and also as a leader, yeah, he has the right to lead the people in the direction which he thinks is the correct direction. That is the prerogative of a leader. However, the political reality is that Bwana Kalonzo Musyoka is chasing after a train that has already left the train station. We all know it is futile, that once the train has left the station, it has left, it has departed. Chasing it is futile. I'm afraid that's the truth. But there is another negative effect on the NASA grouping, okay? And this is that it brings confusion. Because we all know it has been widely quoted in media, not only in Kenya, but outside the country, that NASA are using Raila Odinga's swearing in as a way of getting Jubilee to the negotiation table, okay? Now, that is not the truth, because that is only Kalonzo Musyoka's position. The position of a vast majority of Nasarites is that Raila Odinga must be sworn in before any negotiations are held. It is also true that what Kalonzo Musyoka fears in urging Kenyans to sober up and embrace negotiation is real, because most analysts believe that the swearing in of Raila Odinga will definitely be a thriller. Yeah, if we're talking about types of movies or categories of movies, the swearing in of Raila Odinga is definitely a thriller. However, the truth also is that it is more of a horror movie than a thriller. A horror movie because of the possible consequences of this action. Now, in the next episode of this series, we will go a bit deeper into a very, very serious danger that's facing Kenya right now. What am I talking about? I'm talking about some very powerful people who have insisted and who have said that there must be negotiations, yeah, and that the swearing in of Raila Odinga must not happen. Catch you there. Just click on the link on your top left-hand corner and you'll be in part 2. See you there in a bit. This is Chris Kumekucha.